Chapter 23. I wake from a troubled sleep, my head throbbing. If I never drink again, it'll be too soon. I'm no longer in Nefertiti's arms, but in a bed. Nefertiti's? I glance around. This is no ordinary bed, but a royal bed. And I'm not the only thing feline here. On either side of me is a masterfully carved lion head. The sides of the bed frame are carved in the form of lion bodies, the tails defiantly curved and on high. I feel at home in this bed, but I need to pee. I turn over and try to get up. Too abruptly, given the state I'm in. When I look down at the floor, the colored tiles are rearranging themselves in ever-changing patterns, just like the bits of colored glass in Elena's childhood kaleidoscope, which I played with for hours on end back in New York. I lie back again, close my eyes, and, when the dizzy spell has passed, slide down to the footboard. It's inlaid with precious ivory and ebony, but its only value to me is that I can use it to prop myself up. This time I don't look down, but straight ahead. The mural in front of me leaves no doubt this is Nefertiti's chamber. It's a family portrait, but no one is posing. It's like a photo taken without any of the subjects knowing, what Elena calls a candid photo. Nefertiti is with Pharaoh Akhenaten and their 6 daughters lounging in a columned hall. The girls vary in age from infancy to adolescence. Nefertiti lies semi-reclined on cushions piled on the floor. Her back is propped up by more pillows set against a column. She's wearing a long pleated linen gown with elbow-length loose sleeves. Its red sash is loose, exposing her body. Her baby daughter sits on her lap. 2 other daughters sit on cushions beside her. One sister lovingly caresses the other's chin. Akhenaten is sitting on a stool. The 3 teenage daughters stand between them and their mother. Nefertiti's left arm encircles them, her hand resting on the waist of the one last in line. While her 2 sisters face their father, this daughter has turned her head to look at her baby sister. The baby's tiny hand is extended towards her, as if asking for the doll she holds. But instead of the coveted doll, her sister offers her a teasingly empty hand. The little pharaoh likes to grab my tail. His tiny hands are strong. If Nefertiti's baby daughter did get a hold of the doll, there'd be no getting it away from her. The mural celebrates Nefertiti's life with her family, but now it's a reminder of Menkhetaten's death. Which one is she? What happened to her sisters? As if by magic, the curtains covering the entrance to the room are swiftly drawn. Nefertiti comes in wearing the same gown she does in the mural. For a moment, I think she's an apparition caused by my hangover. But then I see 2 women have entered behind her, one holding a small tray. "Oh, Tati," Nefertiti says, picking me up. "I hope you slept well." I didn't, and I'm hungover. Nefertiti takes me in her arms and carries me to a low-pillowed stool by the left side of the bed. She sits and places me on her lap. The woman with the tray sets it down on a small table in front of us. On the tray are combs, hairpins, and a bronze mirror. The hairdresser begins to use her tools on the wig Nefertiti is wearing. The wig is modeled on those worn by Nubian warriors. It hangs longer in the front, reaching the middle of her neck, and shorter in the back, barely reaching the nape. Amazing how wearing a wig associated with men makes Nefertiti look even more feminine. Looking down on me, she strokes my head. Her fingers linger on my star, and I purr madly. When her fingers move to my scar, she leans forward to take a closer look. "Ah," she whispers, "my little warrior. Is your master a warrior too? Was he disfigured in battle?" At being called a warrior, I purr not just madly but ecstatically. Nefertiti's breath smells of honey and cinnamon. I look up at her face. In the semi-darkness in Bath and in the royal tomb last night, I didn't notice the fine lines marking it. Her lips and cheeks show a hint of reddish-brown makeup. Her eyes are heavily defined by black kohl, emphasizing their beauty and making her look mysterious. I let my eyes move downward. Her bejeweled broad collar reaches to the top of her breasts. Her breathing animates the rows of flowers, fruit, leaves, and petals made of precious jewels. So close to her, I'm aware of the maturity of the body under the gown. The slightly fallen breasts and belly. I feel her shiver. A teardrop falls on my head, and I look up to see another tear about to slide off her cheek. The hairdresser is standing behind her and does not notice. Nefertiti is staring at something in front of her. I know what she's looking at. "Stop fussing about," she says sternly, "and hand me the mirror." The hairdresser takes the mirror from the tray and holds it for Nefertiti to look into, moving it as she turns from left to right. Barely glancing into it, she nods her head. The mirror is taken away, and the hairdresser is dismissed. The other woman who came in with Nefertiti has been standing still as a statue by her side. A lady in waiting, no doubt, waiting patiently. She's been smiling at me, the same smile the young merchant's wife gave me when I licked the honey off her finger. Her sheath dress falls from just below her ample breasts. The wide shoulder straps holding it up barely cover them. Wonderful pillows, like Kaya's. "Tia, do you think Tutmos has waited long enough?" Nefertiti asks her. "Who's Tutmos?" "He deserves to squirm a bit longer," Tia answers. "What has he done?" Nefertiti laughs, almost in self-mockery. "That might very well be, but nevertheless we should go. It's time to teach Tutmos a lesson." "Lesson?" Tia takes me off Nefertiti's lap and sets me on the floor. Nefertiti rises and walks toward the doorway. Tia and I follow. As if by magic, the curtains are again swiftly drawn as Nefertiti approaches them. Once through the doorway, I see the magic as the work of two young girls, one standing on either side of the curtains. We walk across a corridor and enter another room. My head is still throbbing, so I try not to move it and look only at what's directly in front of me. Starting at the threshold and going straight across the floor is a pathway. Its borders are formed by a series of colored stripes. It's covered with figures of foreign men, one after the other, separated by 3 war bows. Each figure is upside down in relation to the one before. There were similar pathways in my pharaoh's palace. The design is a symbol of Egypt's enemies. To walk on the pathway is to trample on them. Egypt's enemies are my enemies. I'd like to pee on them. Actually, I'd better try not to think about peeing. I've had the urge to pee since I woke up, and I don't want to have an accident. "It'll be such fun to teach Tutmos a lesson," Nefertiti says. "Yes," Tia says. "I can't wait to see his reaction." The more I hear about Tutmos, the happier I am not to be him. Outlined in black and set against a bright yellow background, the figures beneath me are beginning to look as if they could reach up out of the floor and grab me. Unsettled, I step off the pathway onto the marsh that's painted on the rest of the floor. As I walk around, I see that it abounds with life. Kingfishers, ducks, and other fowl fly above it. Calves leap through it. Red poppies and blue cornflowers grow everywhere. Against the marsh's earthy colors, they seem bright flames and shining sapphires. Exploring the marsh was just the distraction I needed. Feeling more myself, I look for Nefertiti and Tia. They've walked to the end of the pathway to a colorful stone platform set against the wall. On the platform, a throne awaits. Followed by Tia, Nefertiti climbs the steps of the ramp set in the middle of the platform and takes her place on the throne. Tia stands in front of the platform beside a tall, lathed table on which an object has been placed covered with a piece of linen. What could it be? I move as close to the platform as I dare, then sit. Painted around its base and on each side of the ramp is a row of more foreigners. These aren't Egypt's enemies, but her friends and allies. Each of the foreigners is kneeling in front of a small stand holding a basket of offerings. They're paying homage, their arms up in sign of respect. I recall such scenes from the year I spent with my pharaoh. Sometimes he was presented with an offering of food and would give me a taste of the foreign delicacies. Each row of foreigners is set between a simple white skirt at the bottom and molded cornice at the top. The edges of the cornice are striped with poppy red, lapis blue, emerald green, and brilliant white. I'm so happy that Bastet's gift enables me to enjoy such vivid colors. There's so much more to feast my eyes on, like the murals on the decorated ceiling, but I turn my attention to Nefertiti, more splendid than any artistic creation. She claps once, and a man, bowing low from the waist, comes through a doorway in the left wall. "Stand up straight, Tutmos," she says when he stops before her. He obeys, keeping his eyes cast down. He's middle-aged, and has angular features that contrast with his round, copious belly, and wears a sleeveless linen tunic and a pair of leather sandals. His pot belly and attire leave little doubt he's well-to-do. A fat cat, if I may. "Look up, Tutmos," Nefertiti commands him. He raises his eyes, studies his surroundings, and begins to stare at the covered object on the table. You have been summoned to explain that to me, Nefertiti says, pointing. Go ahead. Uncover it. Thutmose approaches the table hesitantly, and with a trembling hand removes the linen cover. His mouth opens. He's flabbergasted. So am I. He's uncovered Nefertiti's famous bust, as in the future, its left eye is missing. I, Thutmose says. Quiet, Tia admonishes. How dare you speak? That was delivered yesterday, Nefertiti says. You had told me this would be the best work you had ever done. Is there an unspoken message in the missing eye? Are you trying to tell me I am blind in some way? Speak! Beads of sweat begin to appear on Thutmose's forehead. Queen Ankheipura, Nefer there were two eyes. Silence! Nefertiti commands. Take that horrible thing back to your shop and never bring it back. She stands, passes Thutmose without giving him a glance, and walks down the ramp. Tia, right behind her, gives him a dirty look before following her queen out of the room. I'm alone with Thutmose, who's studying the bust, looking even more dumbfounded than before. When I get up to follow Nefertiti and Tia, he notices me for the first time. I don't like his expression. It's the look of a man who would kick a cat out of frustration. Having no intention of giving him the chance, I make a hasty retreat. Outside in the corridor, I hear peals of laughter resonating from somewhere in the palace. I follow the sound, and it takes me back to Nefertiti's bedchamber. She and Tia are laughing, but Nefertiti's laughter is forced, and her right hand is clenched in a fist. My queen, Tia asks, do I have your permission to go to the Great Palace? I can't wait to tell the girls in the harem about Thutmose. You may, Tia. I will be resting a while. I am very tired after last night. Oh, my queen, please don't go back to the tomb again. Nefertiti dismisses Tia's concern with a wave of her hand. Tia knows better than to insist. Take Tati with you, Nefertiti says. Make sure he is fed. I will, my queen. All this is music to my ears. I'll be listening to gossip while being fed. What more could I ask for? Actually, I could do with a sandbox. I haven't relieved myself since last night, and my bladder is about to explode. Tia picks me up. As she's retreating backwards from the room, I hear something fall on the floor. Nefertiti's left hand is open at her side, and a tiny object shines at her feet. An almond-shaped crystal eye.